Hello, everyone. Have you ever wondered if the world and the society we live in can be improved? Because I bet you have. But have you ever wondered how could you contribute for this to happen? Well, let me tell you, there is a way, and it is known as sustainable development, which is basically the development that meets the needs of the present without compromising future generations and their advantages according to the UN. Therefore, the creation of a conscious community must occur. And what I mean by that is the creation of a community in which interests and actions acquire a balance in order to improve economy without generating environmental problems and, for instance, improving social progress. I know you must be thinking, oh well, that sounds wonderful, but does it follow a plan? And the answer is yes. In September 2015, 193 countries met at the UN to adopt new global goals. These 17 goals are the building blocks of the pathway that our society must follow in order to allow future generations achieve sustainable development. We must understand that sustainable development is about the big picture. It's about improving the lives of everyone, everywhere, and achieving all of the goals together. But it is also about the detail, because one single mistake can set back all of the effort that has been made till now. Out of the 17 goals that are established amongst all of the countries that are members of the UN, I've chosen Goal 6. Ensure access to water and sanitation for all in order to exemplify one of the main objectives of sustainable development. First of all, clean and accessible water for all is a fundamental factor of the world we want to live in. But unfortunately, the reality goes far away from our desires. Even though there is enough fresh water on Earth's surface to achieve this, bad economics and poor infrastructures are the reason why every year millions of people, especially children, die from diseases related to inadequate water supply and lack of a system that guarantees water sanitation and hygiene. Eventually, water scarcity has major consequences in terms of food security, livelihood choices, and educational opportunities for families with low incomes across the world. And as a result, this problematic increases hunger and malnutrition. As you can observe, it seems to be a very complicated problematic which seems to have no solution at all. Here is when we must redirect our actions and our future objectives to refrain future societies from suffering the discouraging consequences. Here is when we must learn the correct management of our resources, and we must understand at all costs that we depend on nature, and if we attempt against it, we are destroying ourselves and the opportunity to improve as a society. According to statistics of the UN, in 2050, at least 1/4 of the population is likely to live in a country affected by major shortages of fresh water. But this doesn't mean improvements haven't been made. What this means is that all of the inhabitants of Earth must find a way to unite their interests and cooperate in favor of society, economy, and a healthier environment. It is crucial to understand that as humans are very important resources for the world, because we are in the capacity to create and imagine things that are able to contribute to progress and development. But to ensure this, we must have access to social services such as health, education, and adequate nutrition that will eventually guarantee our well-being and will give us greater opportunities for us humans and for the planet itself. It is also fundamental to understand that factors such as infrastructure, education, and global community cooperation are fundamental. And if we are to win the battle for a sustainable future, we have to play under fair rules that apply to everyone. The most important thing about sustainable development is that it involves everything that surrounds us and every single being that inhabits the earth. But it is our function to remember that we must take care of what surrounds us, that everything has a crucial role in the future, and the decisions we make today will affect the next generations. Personally, for me, sustainable development is a subject that deserves a greater prominence in a day-to-day, since it's one of the healthiest alternatives we have to improve our environment, as well as to achieve what many conceive as a perfect world. I do not intend to say that with sustainable development we will obtain an utopia, but I know that by applying this alternative, we will improve factors that nowadays do not progress or are in constant decline. But as I said earlier, sustainable development depends on the cooperation. I know it can be difficult to understand the large dimensions of sustainable development and its greatest objectives that vary according to their goals. But this makes sustainable development have different approaches for each and every one of us. From women's empowerment to alliances to be able to guarantee the fulfillment of their goals that have a long-term objective. This is why I think we should give it an opportunity, as it is a very well-structured program in favor of the needs of everyone, the planet, and because it takes into account the perspectives that are present in nowadays society. As the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, said, the principle of common but differentiated responsibilities are the bedrock of our enterprise for a sustainable world. Now I'm going to ask you, what's going to be your contribution?